The following is an exclusive presentation of WI Garden Media, the voice of Garden Talk Radio. Well, there is a number of dishes in which you can make with the produce coming out of your garden. We're going to go over several of ours. Now, we're not going to specifically break down each recipe and give you precise measurements. If you are interested in any of these dishes, you can send us an email to gardentalkradio@gmail.com, and we'll send you the detailed information in regards to that. But Holly, we'll start with you.
Right. So I make this pasta dish, and the sauce is basically butter, and then tomatoes. I don't know how many tomatoes, just kind of whatever looks right. Garlic and Italian seasoning, and you could add a little parsley if you wanted to, Italian parsley. And I just I saute the garlic in the butter. I add the tomatoes, add the Italian seasoning. If you are a mushroom person, you can add mushrooms, you can add shrimp, you can add chicken. But on its own, it's delicious.
This is a meal of itself. We're not.
Well, you add pasta.
I know you add pasta to it, but you're not. This is the whole everything in one pan.
Yeah.
One pan dish.
Well, you cook the pasta separately, but yeah.
You really now. One pan dish. Yeah.
I don't think you can just cook pasta and butter.
No,
you gotta boil the noodles.
But everything goes in one. By the time it all mixes in with the noodles and the pasta, and any specific type of pasta is better than the other.
I like a rotini or like a cavatappi, like a fusilli Jerry. Yeah. Okay, so you want to talk about your tomato creamy paste?
Yeah, what I do is when we have cherry tomatoes and we have them growing in our grow room, they're 18 months old. They are tiny Tim tomatoes growing in root maker grow bags with Happy Leaf LED grow lights over top of them. We planted them, about March 9th of 2021, and about 18 months old. Every month we get a harvest off of them approximately, and when we get about a cup and a half, maybe 2 cups of these cherry tomatoes, I will take and put a little cream, a little butter in a saucepan, and then throw those tomatoes in there, and they will get hot and they will pop or break apart. If they need a little help, I'll smash them. And add a little salt, a little pepper. What you're doing is I'm creating a tomato paste, tomato sauce, creamy tomato sauce, which can be lathered on garlic bread or toasted bread. Is really about the only thing that we have used it on. And there's
slathered.
Slather. It's not a measurement per se. It's throw some tomatoes in, add a little cream, let that cook down, add a little butter, a little salt and pepper, break the tomatoes down. The juices will all kind of mix together, and you let it kind of go to almost a paste-like consistency, and it's very, very good. Now, if you have dietary or dairy issues, you can use a lactose-free milk, and that will substitute as...
You could even use like a non-sweetened almond milk, too.
Yeah. But that creaminess, if you use pure, heavy whipping cream, that adds a little more density to the dish.
It's richer.
Yes.
Right. So this is my other suggestion, and this is something that we enjoy, is making BLTs, and you're like, that seems pretty obvious, tomatoes from the garden, but we kind of make a... Well, not anymore. I only pretty much eat low sodium bacon, but we used to get like that super Applewood
smoked bacon.
Yeah. And maybe next year we will again. But it's delicious, and I think that when you get your first tomatoes or your last tomatoes, like we did this year, to get some delicious bread, or maybe make your own bread, and then you can have a delicious BLT.
Well, the key to a proper BLT.
What?
Mayonnaise distribution.
Oh.
Yeah. Holly has the issue of, this looks good. And it's like, not even enough for a baby. And then she goes, I'll put a little bit more on it. And it's just running all over the plate. It's hard to get the proportional distribution right on that or any condiment.
He's complained about this since, I think, before we were married.
Yeah, you just cannot seem to get mustard, mayonnaise, ketchup. It doesn't matter.
I don't know why he thinks he's going to get better. Yeah.
Now, another thing, I mean, there's people listening to our program that are homesteaders that make their own bacon. They grow their own lettuce and tomatoes and bake their own bread.
Yeah, absolutely. So that kudos to you for that.
And another thing that's really good that a baked potato fresh out of the garden. You can get a baked potato from the store. It's great. You've not had good potatoes or baked potatoes until you've harvested them out of the garden and then cooked them.
Absolutely. So then Joey also makes us green beans with pecans and butter.
So you take the green beans and you can cut the ends off, and then you can either make them large or as small chunks of green beans as you would like. About 2 tablespoons of butter into a saucepan. What's the big pan? Not the saucepan. The soup.
Like a kettle.
Kettle.
Yeah.
And then you about 2 tablespoons of butter. Saute them until the green beans get tender, and then add whatever amount of pecans that you think that you would like, and let that butter and the pecans cook for a little bit. You got to watch it so the pecans don't burn, and then you can serve it as a side dish. Very nice. If you've never tried butter, green beans, and pecans before, you're missing out. And I don't think it would work well with like walnuts or peanuts or anything. I think it has to be that pecan.
I think you could make walnuts work, but there's something just about like the depth of flavor, because pecans are rich, but they also kind of have like a sweetness to them almost.
They're very versatile.
Yeah, they're very versatile, and I know that is quite delicious. And then roasted Brussels sprouts.
Yes.
And a lot of people are like, I had
Brussels sprouts. Yeah.
And you probably had some overcooked, steamed, or
you were
boiled. Probably
bent over the table and forced it down your throat as a child, and that's why you don't like them, because they were store-bought and they were junk.
Right, and frozen, whatever. So roasted Brussels sprouts, when you get those fresh Brussels sprouts, you just kind of shake them up in some olive oil, put whatever flavorings you like on them.
Cheese?
Not cheese, I'm talking about spices.
Okay.
I like the Forward mix from Penzeys, if you've ever had those.
Walton's has got good mixes.
Walton's has good mixes. And then you can explore, think about what would taste good.
Farmers markets right now is a good time to get those if you don't have them growing.
Right, and then you roast them in your oven.
Air fryer? Air fryer,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's delicious.
And they melt in your mouth if you do it right. If you cook them right, because oftentimes you're overcooking them or you're undercooking them, and you're trying to chew through them like you're trying to eat a golf ball, and they're not pleasant. And especially the store-bought ones, which was harvested who knows how long ago, and they are already they're already going downhill quick.
Absolutely. And I think that, that's something to keep in mind is that...
But that's the thing. If you've never had a good experience with a Brussels sprout, go to your local farmer's market. How can they find a farmer's market in their area, Holly?
You can go to... I just had the name of the website, localharvest.org, I believe. I can look real quick here.
Okay. And then you just buy, a small quantity of them to make sure that, what we're telling you is accurate. And then you will have the more positive experience in regards to eating Brussels sprouts.
Okay, localharvest.org. You can also call your city hall, city municipality. Mm-hmm. They'll have that information.
And we're getting in the time where we're transitioning from summer farmers markets to winter farmers markets.
Right. Sometimes you can go to your local organic food store. They might know. So there's lots of ways to find a farmer's market.
City Hall, you think, would be the best direction to go with?
Right. Or even if a lot of people are in the community groups on their Facebooks, like I belong to this community or this
mm-hmm.
city, you can ask there as well. Or if there's a winter's farmers market, that's popular, becoming more popular too now.
Well, what for people who are, everybody knows, summer farmers market, what is typically at a winter's farmers market that maybe people wouldn't be aware of?
Root crops, a lot of meat. Sometimes you'll find grains. And then a lot of times there'll be...
Like flour and that type of thing?
Yep.
Okay.
Sometimes there will be like prepared food that you can purchase, but you can purchase it like frozen prepared food, if that makes sense. Like
ready to go.
Okay. Yeah, things like that. And from winter's farmers markets will often have some sort of maybe like live music or entertainment, so that you kind of...
Are these typically indoors or just over like a pavilion type of thing?
Indoors.
Okay, they are most time in an indoor facility.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, those are some of the things that we enjoy, just a small snippet of things that we enjoy making with the things that come out of our garden. I'm sure you have a cookbook thick of recipes that you like to prepare for yourself or your family. If you'd like to know more about that, you can certainly send us an email, gardentalkradio@gmail.com. And to get your spices, and a large selection of spices at a discount, Walton's Incorporated has that for you.
Yeah, Walton's, you can get all the equipment, seasoning, and supplies to make sausage, jerky, any other meat product your way to your high standards. If you want to make some snack sticks that people will actually like, Walton's created meatgistics.com, an informational site to help you make the best finished product. They have decades of experience in the meat processing industry, and then they also have all of these different spices, Excalibur seasonings, the ones that the professional processors use.
And they work fine on vegetables.
Absolutely. They have their own full line of meat grinders, mixers, sausage stuffers. If you go to waltonsinc.com, and you can use code GROW50 to save 10% of orders of $50 or more and get free shipping.
And that coupon code will be valid through the end of the calendar year. GROW50 to save 10% on your order of orders of over $50.
For more information, please visit thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com.